Hey, everybody, can you hear me? Kai senpaiなんですけれども、good evening. I believe that it's about 9 o'clock in Japan, where I am here in Vietnam. It's 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm really hungry, and I want to go get one of those delicious sandwiches. I think it's called banh mi, but of course I'm saying it wrong because, Vietnamese is really hard. But guys, how you doing? I just wanted to chat with you guys, let you know what's going on kind of separate from my videos because the videos are educationally based and I'm trying to stick to the subject, but sometimes you guys ask, what's going on with you? And even here in Vietnam, I'm getting approached by Japanese people that recognize me in like Starbucks, for example. So just wanted to touch base with you guys, see how you're doing, see how things are going, see if you're watching the videos and whatnot, and chat about a few things because basically, being in Vietnam is kind of an interesting experience. It's definitely not Japan. The culture is definitely different, and the language is definitely different. And when Vietnamese people speak English, it's definitely different. It's not like katakana ego. It's uh, actually, truthfully and honestly, no, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it's really hard to understand sometimes, depending on their level. So I just wanted to say hi, see how you guys are doing, because it's weird being down here in Vietnam. Um, Nobody really knows me here. They just see this tall white guy with beautiful hair, Chigoka, and they stare at me, especially kids. Kids really like to stare and point fingers. And even the other day, a mother stared at me and pointed at me and had her kid look at me, and it was weird. But it's always weird, and I'm kind of used to it, kind of not. But if you guys wanted to say hi here in the little chat room, you can do that right here. But yeah, it's an interesting experience traveling the world. If you may or may not know, I was in Bangkok last month, and Bangkok was an interesting experience too. Maybe I can talk about that in a little bit. But I'm here in Da Nang. As I see it, it looks like Da Nang, but it's a beach town right in the middle of Vietnam, and the weather's been really cool. It's been no colder than 20 degrees and no hotter than 28 degrees. So the weather's been nice, sunny sometimes, sometimes cloudy with a little rain sometimes, but it's not snowing. It's not freezing. I don't need a jacket. I can go out in a t-shirt, maybe a sweater at the most. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy being here, even though there's no subway, there's no trains. Been riding everywhere on a bicycle. And kind of taking it in slowly. It's like a beach town, so the pace here is kind of different than Bangkok or Kyoto or Tokyo or LA for that matter. Even though there's a beach here, it's not like LA. It's more maybe like Miami or something like that. If you guys have ever been to Miami, so yeah, the life down here is kind of slow and it's interesting. I've been trying my best to make some good videos, and maybe you guys have been watching them, and maybe you've been seeing well. The mixed reactions that I've been getting, and I kind of understand why. On the other hand, it's kind of weird to really talk about it because there's obviously not one way of thinking in Japan, and obviously there's recent videos with the Japanese royal family. Oh, look at that! And watch this. Hey. Here we can do this really quick here because it's really weird because I don't want to. Oh wait, no, wrong button. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. Here, this is the button that I meant to hit, and then bam, that's the button that meant to hit. Because yeah, it's really weird to be said these things, and it's kind of like, wait a second, what? What's the problem here? And I never really have gotten a clear answer. So if anybody does want to rationally uh, share their opinion, because there's definitely no facts happening here, because some people seem to enjoy the videos, other people seem to not enjoy the videos. So yeah, if anybody has any rational opinions, then they can do it with a cool head. I'm sure to talk. I'm sure I'll be glad to talk about it. So Kuro says hi. Good evening. Welcome to the little live stream here. And of course, I am doing this live stream because basically I want you guys to get exposed to natural English. And in the videos, I talk so much about other people's English, but at the end of the day, what you guys need to be doing is listening to real people speak real English. And I'm a real person speaking real English. And I'm trying not to be too educational about it, but I'm just trying to talk normally as if I'm talking normally. And yeah, maybe I'm a little careful how I say things, or I'm like a little slower, just to make sure that everybody understands what I'm saying. But then again, I'm trying to talk as normal as possible because I want you guys to get exposed to real English, right? And I do my seminar every week. And in that seminar, I always ask the question, do you guys have anybody to talk to? And by far, 80%, I would say, of the people that come to my seminars just don't have anybody to talk to in English. So I'm trying to give you guys some more opportunities to at least listen, even though this isn't really a conversation, because I'm the one talking and you guys are just listening. I'd like to be able to talk with you guys and give you a chance to have a conversation. So, if I could help in any way, this little live stream is going to do that, hopefully, because again, the majority of what you listen to is just like, how do you say, fake. It's this educational English that just isn't real. It's not how English actually sounds in reality, especially in the context of a real conversation. And I'm going to be making a lot of videos coming up here in the future. And of course, I'm going to be highlighting my app that you guys hopefully know about. Maybe you don't know about it because I don't talk about it too much, but the app is getting fixed right now. And once the app is complete, I'm going to be talking about the app a lot more because I think that's really helpful for a lot of people. Long story short, when I learned Japanese, all I had, well, okay, so first, yeah, I studied the basic Japanese. I had a basic Japanese textbook. And then I had a Kansai Japanese textbook as well, and I used those books. But eventually, what happened was those books kind of opened up a space in my mind. So for example, when I read the Japanese Kansai Japanese textbook, it said in Kansai they don't say shiteiru, they say shitoru, and I was like, what? That's weird. They don't say iru, they say oru. And so I was like, well, okay, I'm reading this in a book. Now I wonder if it's real or not. And so then I went outside into reality, into my school, and sure enough, nani shiton, nani yaton. That's actually how people were talking. And so, yeah, I had a book, but then I had the real world experience to verify what I was reading. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you got to read to get some knowledge and some words and information. But if you don't confirm it in reality, then you're really not going to be learning anything. And so, what I hope to do is to give you guys this app that's basically a dictionary that will give you at least the space to know, oh, this is how you pronounce it, right? And then hopefully in reality, you go out and you confirm everything you use in the dictionary. Because when I was in Japan in the beginning in Maizuru, basically I would just go around and talk to people. And if I had any words that I didn't understand, I would just get a dictionary out and look up the word in the dictionary. That's all you really need after basic studies. And basic studies can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months if you really uh, do it correctly, I think. So I think that a lot of you guys are doing your studying a little bit wrong. No offense, but if you're not satisfied with your English level, and it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, some people, then you got to change the way you're going about it. And I always will say this: you got to get out, talk to real people, and if you ever get in trouble, just look up a dictionary. Seriously, it's really simple. It's simple in theory. The hard part is getting out there and talking to people. So Kuro says, I appreciate that your video is providing sophisticated skills in terms. Thank you. I appreciate that because honestly, as I'm here in Vietnam, the pronunciation down here is really hard to understand. And they I know that they are trying to speak English, and there's no problem with trying, right? But when the word comes out and you just don't understand. So the other day, this guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, can I practice English with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm just walking home. Come walk with me." And he was talking about he wanted to go to Europe or something like that, the Netherlands or something. He wants to see like the landscape or something like. And I didn't understand what he said. I'm like, "Wait, what? I don't." And so we looked it up, and he was trying to say landscape, right? And I try to explain to him, even though his English wasn't good, and I can't explain things in Vietnamese, but he was just like kind of like struggling to say landscape, right? And so I'm like, honestly, like I know you know the word in your head. You could probably spell it, right? You could probably read it, but you gotta be able to say it in the way that I understand it because I'm not used to the Vietnamese English and it is hard to understand. And this is, Vietnamese English we're talking about, but the truth is, for a lot of people that don't speak Japanese, Japanese English is hard to understand too. So that is why I talk about pronunciation primarily because it's the number one problem that a lot of Japanese people learning English have. It's like the biggest problem. It way bigger than grammar. It is definitely listening to real native English speaking with the pronunciation whatnot, and then when you guys speak, saying everything in the quote unquote correct pronunciation. Now, people always say, well, you always say American English is the best or something. I'm not saying American English is the best. That's the only English I really know. And through life experience, I've watched enough Beatles documentaries to at least be familiar with British English, but by no means am I an expert in British English. And I can never teach British English because I don't know British English. It all sounds the same to me. They all sound like a Beatle, if you know what I mean. So, I can try to mimic it, but it's not going to be perfect, right? Because I don't speak British English. All I can do is speak American English. And when I talk to other English speakers, they understand me. So there's no problem with American English. And if you guys want to speak English, you got to choose, one of the native accents, basically. And most Japanese, like, how do you say, English textbooks or lessons or whatever, they kind of ignore uh, accent and they ignore the regional dialects of all the people and it's just all kind of like equal native, but it just doesn't exist. You guys got to choose one or the other basically, and once you get familiar with that one accent, then you can start to learn, oh, Australians say it differently, or New Zealand people say it differently, or Scottish English. Good luck if you're going to do that. No, I would say that, well, and then obviously in Vietnam there are people that speak English, right? Like I've heard like people like, "Oh, you can go ahead." I'm like, "Whoa, wow, you speak English." Like you just know instantly that they can speak English. But for the ones that are like, learning English, it is like you go to a restaurant and it is very hard to get through the order a lot of times because it's hard to understand. And for me, Vietnamese English is way harder to understand, like way harder. Now maybe I'm just used to Japanese English, which is true. I'm very used to Japanese English now. Like I get it. I'm sure that other Americans listening to Japanese English would probably have a hard time, but I'm just used to it, having lived in Japan and talked to so many people. So but yeah, Ako-san, the Vietnamese English is, in my opinion, from my experience, which, is not too much because I haven't had too much experience listening to Vietnamese English. It's kind of hard for me. And maybe I could get used to it, right? Or, people learning English could get used to my English, right? Like, again, what's your goal, right? You want to speak English? Well, then this is it, right? Like, you guys are the learners, right? So I don't want to say get up to my level or anything. I'm just saying that if you're going to learn English, pronunciation is a fundamental part of it, and you can't skip it. You can't ignore it. And if you just want to read and write and pass a test and do a TOEIC test or whatever, that's a totally different subject. And I don't really address that because it doesn't really matter to me. Like it's like, hey, you guys want to have a conversation? well, then you got to listen and you got to mimic and you got to get out there and talk to people, no matter how many words you've written and read. I don't care what your score is. You know what I mean? Like, if we can have a conversation, then we both win, right? But the biggest barrier to having a good conversation is, without a doubt, pronunciation. Because even if you don't know a word, you could just ask, well, how do you say this, right? And you can, together with the person you're talking to, figure out a simpler way to say something, right? So as long as you're staying in the conversation, even if you have to resort to simpler words, then you're winning. Both of you win. It's a win-win situation as long as you keep talking, right? Even if you don't know the words. So Hitomi says hi. Hey, Hitomi, what's going on? Yeah, so it's really interesting, this whole thing of being an English teacher in Vietnam, because I wish I could explain stuff to them. And if my app was ready, and this is just the most frustrating part of everything, I could just give them the app, say, hey, download this, and I swear it's going to help you, right? But the app is not ready right now. And I wish I can explain things in Vietnamese. So maybe eventually I'll have to collaborate with some Vietnamese English teacher that can explain some certain basic things before they get the app. But yeah, I really wish I could help more people while I'm in Vietnam. But because of my limited ability to explain things, it's just kind of hard. But it is inspirational, though. I feel like this past year, because I've been traveling the world for like about a year almost, right? I think in May, maybe April, maybe May. I think I left Hollywood and moved to Mexico City. So I've been on this kind of like year long journey, kind of just like living life, experiencing things, and realizing what I really want to do with my life. And that is definitely 100% to share the app with the world. Everybody in the world could download the app. I mean, theoretically speaking, a million people could download the app. So I am looking forward to the future a lot. And hopefully in the future, I'm going to continue to travel the world and share the app. But in the meantime, what I can do, I have to just basically stick to what I'm able to do with my abilities. And my abilities is, well, I can speak Japanese and I can explain things to you guys. So I'm going to be going back to Japan in March, hopefully in a few weeks here, maybe a week or two. If I'm not really good at math, but yeah, I'm going to go back to Japan, and hopefully I'm going to be able to make some more videos in Japan and help you guys, speak English, learn English, listen to English, basically I'm more useful if I'm in Japan. The only problem is that and I don't have a visa. I don't have a sponsorship because I am self-employed, basically through YouTube, or not through YouTube. YouTube isn't my boss, but basically using YouTube as a marketing tool, I'm able to basically stay in business by myself. But I can't at the moment get a visa for Japan. So that means I can only stay in Japan for about 3 months. So, which is fine because, if I just keep traveling and stuff, I'm happy with that. I like traveling. So there's no problem with that. And as I travel, as obviously if you've seen, as long as I have Wi-Fi on my computer or phone, I can continue to make videos, and hopefully I can continue to make good videos. So before we get into some the video stuff, I do want to share something, and that is that I realized, I'm not going to talk about that, but basically, one of the reasons that I was able to learn Japanese is because I was an exchange student, and just being an exchange student by itself isn't going to make you fluent. But being an exchange student allows you to have more opportunities to talk to people, basically. So when I lived in Maizuru, I was given the opportunity to talk to people all day, from morning, afternoon, night. My host family, my teachers, my classmates, to people on the street, every people on the train, everywhere, because I just had more contact. You know what I mean? I had more opportunities to speak. So doing an exchange program is really super beneficial for one reason: the frequency of how many times you get to practice, basically. And so, and then, you get to ask the same questions, like, where are you from? How long have you been here? And then you get those questions and you get used to them, and then you learn to answer them really quickly. What's your name? How tall are you? That kind of stuff. And so it's good practice to be able to say, have the same conversation over and over again. So basically, long story short, you guys need to do an exchange program. I really, really realize that. In an ideal world, if I had like $1 zillion, I would open up an exchange program somewhere in California, hopefully. And that's what I would do. But getting like a house or something like that. But basically, think of like terrace house, but like in California with me or something like that. Like that's the idea. I think that would be really cool to do that, where everybody has like a room, maybe a cheaper dorm or something like that for people, because California is expensive, but nonetheless you guys got to do an exchange program, and you don't even need to go to a school, because I talked to a few Japanese people in California, because they got to go to school or something like that. But they go to school and they get the same bullshit that they got in Japan, basically just lessons in a classroom with a teacher and a chalkboard and a book. And that's not how you learn. You learn by going out there and talking to people. So, my idea would be to do some sort of like exchange house, something like that, where, you got to pay for your rent and stuff like that. But we would basically do activities, and that those activities would be go out and talk to people. Like we would go to cafes and we would purposely talk to people. We go to tourist places and purposely talk to people. That would be the goal, and that's how you would learn. And hopefully through doing that you'd make friends and stuff like that, and then you'd really be able to learn, right? So that would be the ideal situation. However, at this point, I don't have like that $100,000 needed to, start a house or something like that. Well, $100,000 to buy a house is a lot more than that. But that would be a really good idea, and hopefully someday that can happen. But before uh and this includes you guys, because like if you guys have the money right now, you should do an exchange program. And I looked it up online, and an exchange program could be very expensive. Even短期留学、何ぼだっけ、8万じゃ80万とか100万とかするんじゃないですかね。結構高いんじゃないですかね。So, if you had the money, if we all had money, we could do whatever we want, right? And you just do it now, right? That would be my recommendation. If you want to speak English fluently, then just leave, go abroad, and study English in an exchange program now. But for most of us, we got to save our money. But for most of us, we have this job. But for most of us, we got to go to school. For most of us, we can't really do what we want to do immediately. It's going to take some time to do that. So basically, there has to be something we can do in the meantime, is what I'm saying, right? So you guys want to speak English and maybe do an exchange program. Hey, I want to like do all these things too. But in the meantime, we have to be able to do what we can with the tools that we have. And the tools that we have are basically, hey, good morning from LA, Stella. The tools that we have basically an iPhone or a computer and Wi-Fi connection. And with that, we can do things that aren't perfect. Reality is the best way, but we can do other things like, watching videos, right? Watching movies, watching TV shows, watching YouTube lessons. But seriously, we got to get off the computer. We got to get off the live stream. Oh, I will go back to Kyoto again. Do not worry. Hopefully, I can do that either next month or the month after that. But yeah, what we got to do in the meantime is use the tools that we have. And the tools that we have right here is this computer, where we can have a conversation, and with the FaceTime or Zoom and stuff like that, we are able to do amazing things that we weren't able to do before. So, what are we going to do in the meantime? If you can't do an exchange program because you're in school, you have a work, you have a family, or something like that, you're busy, then you have to do a digital exchange program. You just have to use this computer, get on here, and start talking with people. And so, basically, hey, good evening, Kuro Usagi. And then Kuro-san, the motivation to come to Japan originally, I was so young. I don't know, but it was a dream, I guess, because growing up in Orange County, California, we have a lot of Koreans, we have a lot of Vietnamese, and basically there's zero Japanese people. Like in high school, I knew about 3 to 5 Japanese people. One guy, two guys became my buddies or whatever. But for whatever reason, because there's more Vietnamese people in California, there's more Koreans in California, especially in my high school. I had zero interest in Korean. I had zero interest in Vietnamese. but for whatever reason, there was some sort of akogare towards Japan or Japanese culture. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but maybe in a past life I was Japanese. I have no idea. But yeah, when I was in high school, I just really had the idea that I wanted to go to Japan, and I wanted to go to Japan more than I wanted to go to college. I just wanted to learn how to speak Japanese. That was my goal, and I don't know why. I just call it inspiration, following my voice or something like that. But that's what I wanted to do, so I followed it. I can't explain it really. There's no logic to it because that, like I said, there was more Koreans and Vietnamese in my neighborhood, so it wasn't directly just because of like that influence. Maybe it was something deeper. I don't know, but I know I felt it, and I thankfully had enough purpose and motivation to save up my money and go to Japan because my parents didn't pay for it, which is another big problem that we all have money, right? And I just came from a typical family, not a rich family by any means. So I had to save up the money by myself. And I saved up my money for many, many months, sold the cars that I bought when I was in high school, and I did what I had to do the thing that I wanted to do more than any other thing, and that was to go to Japan. So yeah, I don't know what the motivation was other than I felt it. And I have zero regrets because, basically it was a dream and the dream for so long. And it became a reality. Now I speak Japanese. Anybody that's met me in reality, if you've met me on the streets, a lot of people now recognize me as I walk the streets in Japan, in Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, Bangkok でもね、kai senpai desu ka? みたいなね. Even here in Vietnam, people have been recognizing me here. So it's been a really crazy reality, honestly for me, because well, I'm not gonna lie, I guess I'm famous or something like that. But if you've talked to me on the streets, you know that, like, yeah, I put in the hard work. I've talked to a few people in my life, and yeah, I speak Japanese. So, but again, it all comes back full circle to like helping you guys be able to speak English. And again, how can I help, right? And so I can go into so many stories here, but like when I came back to Japan after graduating college, uh, I realized, oh man, these lessons are horrible. 英会話学校のレッスンが最低やんと思って。It's just not real. It's just fake. It's just like, hi, John, what are you going to do today? I am going to the store. Would you like to go? みたいな声ね. And then I remember I was working at GABA, and GABA, for whatever reason, luckily or fate or whatever, I got to do the GABA textbook, like a voiceover kind of thing, and I was just like, oh my god, you guys are gonna really make me say this because it's not real. And I get just say it. It's a beginning lesson. I'm like, you guys don't get it at all, do you? You've never learned a second language. You don't know what basic even means. You're like, when are you gonna get it? Anyway, yeah. I hope to go back to Hollywood. Right now, in order to travel the world, I've given up my apartment. I put all my stuff, all my TV and stuff like that. I put it in my mother's garage. So I don't have an apartment right now. I'm just kind of jumping back and forth and back and forth. So but yeah, hopefully we'll go to California maybe after Japan. We'll see. I don't know. Can you guys see the future? I don't, like it's just a dream right now. So maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll go with the flow. But yeah, so basically I was like, teaching English in this school and I was teaching kids, which is great. But like, I just realized what they're teaching was just not correct for what a kid should be learning. So I created my own course and I created this California English course, right? So when are you going to get it? And seriously, if you listen to it and if you mimic it, you're going to sound like a Californian. Like that's what I did. And so basically I'm trying to teach, yeah, American English. I'm trying to teach California English. I'm trying to teach pronunciation so that if you guys listen to it and if you mimic it, you're going to talk like it. If you talk like it, you sound like who is the person? Yoshi. His video recently was really interesting because he wasn't an exchange student, but he was just really good at pronunciation and intonation. So he sounded like an American. You know what I mean? Sounded like an American ってどういうことですか？まあ、it means he sounded like an American, even though he's not an American, right? だって俺日本語で話してもさ、まあ、日本人に聞こえるかどうかわかんないですけれども、do I sound Japanese? Do I sound like an American? You guys have your opinions, right? Like, Kai Senpai sounds like a foreigner to me. Okay, sure, whatever. But the same thing's happening when you guys speak English. That like people are like, oh, he sounds like he's studying, you know, 発音が悪くて, right? So what? But I've been studying for 10 years, you know, like, but then again, you talk to other people and they sound like a kikoku shijo, right? Like, how did you do that? And it's like, well, again, the only thing you got to do is just listen and mimic. So, student American death row inmates. Okay. Don't know what that means, but anyway. So yeah, basically, so basically, that's what I've been doing is trying to teach California English and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got that course or whatever. But basically, when I was living in Hollywood and I was doing the videos, a lot of I realized that again, coming back full circle, that a lot of you guys don't have anybody to talk to. だって話す相手がいるか、なんか先生以外って感じ。And then most of the people in my seminars do not have anybody to talk to, like like most, and so like 80%. So I kind of realized that's the number one thing that you guys got to do right now is get away from the lessons because you've seen enough. And oh, thank you, Lang. I appreciate that. I think no, seriously, because like recently I've had a lot of haters, and it's just like, what? Why are we? What? Like, I don't get it, but like, whatever. Because again, nobody was able to logically and with a cool head explain what the problem was, you know. So it's just like, okay, guys, whatever. So if you guys do appreciate my channel, I do appreciate that, and I need to hear that more than the haters because at the end of the day, I'm not talking to anybody that's not trying to learn English. Like if you already speak English and you're fluent, then basically I'm not talking to you, you know, or like you're Japanese but you're not learning English. Well, I'm not talking to you either. I'm only talking to Japanese people that are trying to learn English. Or if you're Chinese or Korean or Vietnamese too, and you just happen to find my videos and you learn from then great. Anybody learning English basically is who I'm talking to. So that's kind of only feedback that I want to listen to. And if it's helpful, great. And if it's not helpful, then I want constructive criticism, right? So, and again, like when, oh, you're just making fun of people. I'm like, no, I'm not making fun of people. If you want to eat unko pan, then it's like, wait, what'd you just say? Unko pan? Oh, go man, hatsun warukute, unko pan, right? So pronunciation is super important. So again, if somebody says the wrong pronunciation, it's basically saying the wrong word. And then is that okay? You know, if you're taking a TOEIC test and the answer is A and you mark B, you don't get a point for being close, but the B to A が近いからいいんじゃない? No, it's the wrong answer, right? So again, I just try to focus on what can help you guys. And if you guys do like my videos, I would appreciate you hitting the like button or making a comment because a lot of times people just say random stupid shit and it's just like what does this have to do with anything, you know? So and I just don't get it. So but then again, if you're not trying to learn English, then I'm not having a conversation with you, and it's not really about anybody's English. I mean it's not about them, you know what I mean? If I'm like 誰かの評価して it's not about them, it's about the English, right? And then if you really just logically think about it, if they're saying something like ud, it's well that's not a word actually. Ud isn't a word, so why are you saying it? It's just that simple. So okay, so yeah, give me more interest in English. Good, thank you. That's the kind of thing that I want to hear. Cool. Otani Ippei-san next time. Otani Ippei. Maybe I can try that too. And the other thing too, obviously, is that when you're doing YouTube videos, you kind of want to do videos that get popular sense because, like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to reach people that are learning English, right? And I'm trying to do things that are differently. So if you guys look at the other YouTubers, right? And I'm not going to mention names, you already know them all, but they all kind of have like the same kind of lessons, where they do that little thing where they talk to themselves, or they talk to their assistant or whatever, and they talk to somebody and they do like a skit or something like that. There's so many of them, and it's just kind of like, okay, I could do that, maybe, but what could I do that's kind of different? And I just figured that famous people are already in the spotlight. They already get like thousands of fan letters and stuff like that, so they would be perfect examples to illustrate who speaks well and who doesn't. You know what I mean? Now I understand English. Really, Isan, that's really nice. Well, Isan, what did you do? How'd you get better? Let me guess. You listened more, like you put in the efforts. Um, yeah. So again, if I could just help you guys achieve your dreams, then that gives that it's a better day for me. Basically, gives me kind of purpose and stuff as I go around and keep talking with people. Because even here in Vietnam, I talked to international people today. I talked to some Australian guy the other day. I talked to a French girl. You know what I mean? So I'm still living my life, doing my thing. But as far as like being of service and helping people, it is to help you guys speak English. And to me, in my definition, my opinion, and my opinions based on lots of years of experience, it's really simple. Just mimic native speakers. That's about it. Really, like that's it. Mimic as many native speakers as you can, and if you do that, you're gonna get better. But see, like, okay, you can watch 1,000 lessons, but talking to one person is 1,000 times more powerful than 1,000 lessons. Does that make sense? Like, seriously, talking to 10 people is way more powerful than watching a video or watching 1,000 videos. Seriously, it's just so much different when your brain actually has feedback. And the feedback is how you actually learn. When you read a book, there's no feedback. And so you can't gauge if you're doing it right or wrong or whatever like that. So basically, without feedback, you're not going to learn. So that's what having a conversation with somebody is. It's the feedback. And of course, the feedback at the beginning is a punch in the face. The feedback hurts because you tried to speak to somebody you didn't understand and you feel embarrassed, you feel shameful, and that is the feedback that you need to have. But then you have to have the strength to try again and try again and try again. In fact, back when I was still trying to learn how to do YouTube, because I wanted to make these videos, I wanted to get as many people to see the videos as possible. But in that time, my video, nobody was watching my videos. Like nobody was watching my videos, so I was kind of getting like depressed, right? Like I'm getting bummed out. But 百戦錬磨っていう ことわざがあるよね. And then I saw that like on a pair of pants. Like maybe I can show you guys just just to show you guys. So I was in California, and these Adidas said 百戦錬磨, ね? 百戦錬磨. And so, yeah, I looked it up and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Just got to do it again, get up again, got to get up again, got to try it again, got to try it again, got to get up again, got to try it again, got to try it again, got to get up again, got to try it again. I mean, 100, like how many times? As many as it takes. Just don't give up and you're going to get better. It happens. It takes like weeks and months of just trying, and then all of a sudden you get the results you're looking for. So let me go into the comments here really quick here. Cool. So Aisan, I like that. You didn't understand me at all. Let's see. So I'm asking how you learn Japanese research. So yeah, basically I talked to 1,000 Japanese people and I mimicked them. That's it. I had a few books, like 2 books basically that helped me, but like basically I had an ear and it's almost like no brain. Like you just literally put the sound in your ear and try to get it to go straight out of your mouth, right? So 何やっとんって言われたら、俺も何やっとんっていう音を作るだけですね。And then later you try to like figure out what the meaning is and stuff like that. But in the meantime, it's like no brain. You just like sound in, sound out, and just mimic, 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 mimic. Um, Stella, you hate people. Well, are you complaining about people that can complain? So yeah, it is one of the hard parts. But try in improving. You know, you do notice like mistakes or complaints and stuff like that. But it is better to focus on the positive, right? And so focus on the goal. And that's why I say, like, even if people are looking at my videos and I'm just like, what is this? It actually really it's annoying because it's like are you even listening? You know, did you even watch to the end? Like, I don't even know, because it's like, why would you say something like that? It could, without any detail. It's really frustrating. But at the end of the day, you just have to not argue, and you just don't focus on people like that. You just can't. It's that simple, because it really doesn't help to like focus on people that are like, with that negative energy or something, especially when you're trying to be positive. So, it's a weird balance, but staying focused on the positive is the only thing. And even like in the news, or for example, like the American news is so like negative. It gets to a point where I can't watch the news because, one, a lot of the stories really don't matter to me, at least. Some guy shoots somebody in, California or something like that. And it's just like, but it doesn't affect me. So, like, why should I keep focusing on these stories if they don't really benefit what I'm actually trying to do? So, when I watch YouTube, maybe I watch like a few videos that keep me up to date on the news or something like that. But for the most part, I've been watching a lot of Mr. Beast. Do you guys know Mr. Beast? Because like I'm trying to like learn how to make better YouTube videos. And in fact, I'm going to release a video tomorrow that's kind of a lesson that I learned on how to make longer videos. But anyway, so like I'm trying to focus on the positive. That's it. That's it. And that's it. So anybody that's not going to focus on the positive just isn't worth your time on anything. Why would you want to study English? Like it's like duh. Like, think about it. Why would you want to study English? Okay, so you can stay in Japan your whole life and just speak Japanese, right? And you're useful in Japan, right? Maybe you can design a product and it gets shipped around the world and you can like help everybody, and that's cool too. But at the end of the day, you just have a limited experience by speaking one language, and as somebody that speaks two languages, maybe three, a little Spanish, right? You just have more experience. You have a richer life, basically. And so, not only do you have just better life experience, but you can also, for your job, for your career, really benefit by being able to reach more people, right? So, speaking English fluently just opens up so many possibilities to your life. Why wouldn't you want to speak English? And two, a lot of cool content comes out of America as well, or England for that example, or for that matter. Like music, movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. So you can get exposed to other forms of entertainment, and the kind of, I guess this is a fact. I mean, I'm sure there's a scientific paper that would prove that, but basically. Um, Most of science is done in English, right? So, real benefit to learning the truth, comes from sharing ideas and sharing studies and stuff like that. So, yeah, why would you want to speak English? If anybody ever gives you bullshit for trying to learn English, you just literally ignore them. Yeah, I mean, you should if you want. I mean, some people just don't want to leave their like hometown. Like, I'll just say, like, I know people in California that just will never leave California. And well, hey, if that's how you want to live your life, then you do you, I guess, right? And they don't want to learn any languages or whatever. So it's just kind of like people should have the freedom to do whatever they want. But if you have that calling or that feeling that you want to learn English, then you should do it, and you should ignore everybody, because even if somebody tries to question your English or whatever, then it's just like, well, you you just don't get the benefit. They just don't see the benefit, and it just doesn't matter because like there's nothing but positives by except when you learn English, it's nothing but positives. Like it can benefit your social life. You can find somebody to marry. It can benefit your career. It can benefit just your knowledge of the universe because so much science is happening in English, for example. So anyway, yeah, just do not focus on negative people. Oh, Mr. Beast. I know he does. And it's crazy because in YouTube, basically, thumbnail, headline, and audience duration, right? How long do you watch the video, basically? And unfortunately, fortunately, it is what it is. But a lot of people just skip out of a video really quick, like super quick. And so it's got to be like punchy, punchy, fast, fast. It doesn't have to be. It depends on what you're looking for. But basically, a lot of videos that go viral, it's because the video gets watched the whole time. So Mr. Beast is very good at keeping attention. It's like very snappy and quick, 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 and unbelievable. What happens next? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. What happens next? So, yeah, Mr. Beast is a pretty cool person for me to learn from as a content creator, right? So everybody's learning, right? And maybe we can go back full circle on this because, sakura ga saiteru desu ka? I want to go back. Hopefully, I will be back by the time sakura is not blooming. So hopefully, I'm going to be able to see that. So cool. Nice, 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 nice. I am glad that sakura is blooming right now. 楽しみだね. I have my camera. And if you guys don't know, actually in college, ちょっと日本語喋れるようになってからさ、全然、なんていう、I didn't want to study Japanese in college. I was like, もう喋れるからね、大学で日本語勉強しなくていいんちゃうか。まあ、結局、日本語の授業を取ってたんだけどね、簡単だったからさ。But I was studying photography in college. So I like cameras a lot. So hopefully, I'm going to be able to go back to Japan in time for some cherry blossoms and, take beautiful selfies. 違うか. Yeah, almost. Yeah, and we could say almost, right? Almost all the papers are in English. A lot of the scientists doing physics, stuff that matters, reality, truth. And, truth for me is kind of like one of the most elusive things to find a lot of times because what is truth, right? And so if somebody says, "Oh, your video is stupid," it's like, well, that's an opinion. And you can have an opinion, but it's not a truth, it may be true for you, but it's not true for everybody, right? So, and that's why people say things on the videos, and it's just like, did you just ignore the thousands of people that liked the video? Like what you just said, it maybe applies to you, but not for everybody. So, what is truth? And I think there is a level of deep truth, like physics, gravity, and stuff like that, the speed of light, for example. Maybe some things about human psychology, right? But yeah, all of these things, a lot of it's getting explored in English or being talked about in English. So yeah, super important. Pollen. Yeah, I'm okay with the pollen. I don't think I've had a lot of problems with the pollen in Japan. I don't know why. I guess I'm lucky. Thank you for be strong. Thank you for your encouragement. I'll try to be strong. Or だってやろうかなっていう、みたいな。Yeah, I'll be strong. I am strong. How about that? I am strong. ちょっと、そういうところね、that's kind of interesting because like maybe you don't feel strong right now, but you basically have to trick yourself. 自分を騙さないとって感じ。So, だって、when I was learning Japanese, I'm like, am I gonna ever learn Japanese? Can I learn Japanese? Japanese is so hard. I don't think I can do it. But basically I just kept doing it. And then like itsunomanika, I was like, oh, I can speak Japanese. It just I came back from summer vacation and it was like bunkasai no junbi shitete. I was just talking to people and I was like, oh, I speak Japanese now, huh? Interesting. So like it happens gradually, and then the day that you realize it, it's a cool day, but it's actually a very normal day. So yeah, just I am strong. I am strong. I speak English. And that's the other thing. I was talking to somebody I met in Vietnam, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my English is poor." I'm like, "Don't say that. Just say my English is getting better. My English is getting better. My English is getting better. My English is getting better." And if you stay with that attitude, eventually your English will get better, but it gets better by getting out and talking to people, coming back full circle, right? So, upon careful to do the important step forward. Exactly, step forward. And the step forward is, I like to say, because you guys are so cool, I'm just going to tell you because, like, every week in the seminar, I do a seminar, and I have a son step goal. But basically, 1000人より1000人 ね, that's like the only way to learn any language, really, because you have to talk to 1000人ね。山の上の1000人じゃなくて、100人、1000人と話さないと絶対上達できませんね。That's the only path forward. It's like every person you talk to is the path. ってわかるかな？ Every person you talk to is the path. So every time you talk to a person, you take a step towards getting better. So the more people you talk to, the faster you go. It's that simple. Like, I swear to God, if you talk to a person on Sunday and then read a book, 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 and don't talk to anybody Monday, don't talk to anybody Tuesday, don't talk to anybody Wednesday, the truth is you didn't make any progress. Then maybe next Sunday, then you talk to somebody, and then you say some of the things you've learned in the week on Monday, Tuesday, all the things you're learning, then you made progress. All that potential progress is there, but that potential progress isn't realized until you actually talk to somebody. So the more you talk to people, the faster you get better. The more you talk to people, the faster you get better. The more you talk to people, the faster you get better. And so for you listening to me was one giant step, but it's not enough. You got to get out there and talk to somebody else. You got to talk to somebody else like that's an American or a British person. And then you're going to hear the same kind of things that they might say the same things that I do. And you're like, huh, that's a Kai Senpai said the same thing or something like that, right? Or he talks similar to Kai Senpai. So you get that experience and you start learning, 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 right? And so then you talk to 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, and like all of a sudden you're really getting better. Yeah, immersion. But again, immersion, a lot of people like think immersion, so I have to go 留学しないと. But that's not necessarily the case. What you need is frequency. Because 母国語ね、の時、まあ、2歳、3歳の赤ちゃんはね、別に1000人と話してないじゃない。もうお母さん、お父さん、兄弟、毎日って感じ。So it's the frequency that matters, not exactly 100 or 1,000 people. So 100,000 people really, when you become an adult, yeah, that's what you need to do is get out and socialize a little bit. But basically, frequency is the most important thing. And basically, by talking to a lot of people, you just get a bigger data set. And from that bigger data set, you basically just get more information to choose how you want to keep studying, for example. So, yeah, frequency, immersion より frequency かな。だって日本からお勉強できるんだよ。ね。So you just have, yeah, you do surround yourself in a sense. So you watch videos, you listen to English music, you listen to English podcasts, you make English friends, you read books in English. Like that's a part of immersion. But the real progress happens when you talk to people and like talk to people in a real conversation, not just listening like this, but like an actual conversation. So, but it benefit. Yeah, yeah, it is beneficial talking on the internet because basically you just need an ear and a mouth. That's it. Like you could do a phone call and that would be very beneficial too. So it doesn't even have to be the internet. If you talk to somebody on the phone every single day, yeah, you're going to get better. You will get better because English, at the end of the day, here's the real secret. It's a sound. You can't see English, right? Like, and this is like really one of those things that like it's hard to explain, but like it's easier if you just really realize it that like you can't see English, it's invisible. And when you go to school, what they do is they give you the reflection. They give you the visual reflection of a sound, right? Because sound is literally in a dimension that is invisible. You cannot see English, right? But then you see a letter, and that letter is a representation of the sound, but it is not the sound. This is so simple. A letter is not the sound. It is a drawing, it is visual. But at the end of the day, the sound is what you need to experience. And so when you go to a school and they give you the representation of the sound, you're not experiencing the real English. You're not experiencing the real, your brain is literally through the visual cortex looking at something, but the language center of the brain is actually attached to like the ear. So you're literally not doing the thing that would actually get you better by looking at something. And then all of a sudden, yeah, like literally, it's invisible. You can't see it. But、母国語の場合は、まあ、ちょっといろんな音慣れてからね、学校入って、まあ、だって幼稚園の、幼稚園の時だよね。Like、ちょっと喋れるようになってるんじゃないですか。ね。で、ちょっといろいろ慣れてから学校行って、あ、この文字はね、これはあーだよ。それにしてるあーっていう音だよ。で、あーなるほど、みたいなね。でも日本って逆やん。もう最初って、まあこれ A ですよ。って何ですか？聞いたことない。It doesn't make sense. もう逆だよ。So I could talk for an hour about that one, but it really you gotta listen and you gotta mimic, and that's it. And where are you gonna get where are you gonna talk to people? Well, there you could go to a tourist spot, you can go to a cafe, you can go to a bar, you can go to a station. When I was in Kyoto, I made a video. I tried to make a video of talking to, yeah, good. Like, keep talking to as many people as you can, right? Like, I know, I know Philippine teachers are cheaper, so I understand why. Like I get it, I get it. Like a lot of people go to Canada for ryugakune. Why? Because it's cheaper. I get it. I totally get it, and it's fine. It's totally fine. Um, but yeah, keep talking to people and talk to as many people as possible too. Um, seriously, it really is the only way to go forward. And so, where was I going with it? I had a train of thought there somewhere. But basically, it's to get out there and talk to people as often as possible. And then, if you're looking and you're reading, you're not doing it right. You got to get out there and have a conversation with people. So, basically, I think これで終了にしたいと思うんですけれども、so if you guys, if you don't mind, so this is where I was going with the stories. So basically, I'm gonna be oh yeah, it's baseball time. I went to the WBC in like 2009 or something. 日本優勝した時ね、イチローがね、he hit that ball against Korea. That was a really good memory. I like WBC. So basically, it's time for me to go because I'm hungry. But basically, um, oh yeah, I got an email from some company that was like doing English coaching, right? And they're like, oh, ぜひコラボレーションしたいみたいな、メールね。And I was just kind of like, well, why would I promote your company? I can help people. Like I can have conversations with people, right? But it's just like I think what I offer is way too intense sometimes, 本当に like you guys listen to me for like an hour or something like that, and I do appreciate it. But like this isn't enough. だって日本に留学した時、もう毎日10時間ぐらい勉強してたからさ、1時間って足りない。2時間足りない。1日10時間でも足りません。Right? Like you just gotta keep going. There is no break. It's just all day kind of thing, right? So basically, for the English coaching thing, I was like, well, why would I promote somebody else's thing? I can do some coaching, right? But yeah, what are you gonna eat tonight? Yeah, I'm gonna eat banh mi. Banh mi. It's like a sandwich with like egg and like a pork and like a pickle or something like that. It's really tasty. And then I'm gonna get a nikuman. 食べたいなと思う。They also have like Mexican food here. Yeah, hamburgers, of course, but yeah, today I'm going to stay local. So anyway, so basically, and this is I'm going. This is limited. All right. So basically, I can do. I'm calling it. How do you say? 短期留学ね。短期留学したいと思うんですけれども、if you guys want to do lessons with me, this is serious lessons though. This isn't like chat, like hey, what's up, how you doing. I mean, we obviously we do chat like that, but nice. I want to watch some. I want to watch some baseball too. Muster the courage to speak. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I try my best. Xin chào. Um, uh, ガオモン、Thank you, I think. だって、みたいなね. So, yeah, and people, a vlog, but like again, like if I make a video and nobody watches it, I'm just like, I just wasted my time, right? Who wants to see Kai Senpai ride his bicycle around Vietnam, 面白いのかな? So anyway, if you guys want to do a serious Tanki Ryugaku. I just shared a link right there. If you click that link, you can see the program that I have there. But it's serious. It's just serious 1 month, like 3 times a week. If you guys want to have like I don't want to say lesson, but we'll do a one-on-one for 3 times a week for 4 weeks. Plus, you'll get all of my listening materials and stuff like that. If you guys are serious about like really increasing the intensity of your study and increasing the frequency. Basically, I can do it for 3 times a week, but I can only do it for like 3 people or something like that because most of my days, spent making videos. Like seriously, all day. I wake up, I drink some coffee. It's pretty boring. I just relax a little bit, but then I go to a cafe and then I, look for a good idea, because I want as many people as I can. I want to help as many people as I can, but that depends on creating a good idea. The other day, there's this girl, she was trending, Mafi Hana っていう、まあ、アメリカ人ですかね。帰国子女ですかね。But anyway, like she was trending, so I was like, oh, I'll make a video about her, and nobody watched the video. Like, not even 1,000 people watched the video, and it's just like, yeah, I spent all day making a video that nobody watched, and that is the worst feeling. So I try to be smart about this. I'm trying to be smart about this. But anyway, most of my time goes into making videos. But if there's 2 or 3 people out there that are really serious about Tanki Ryugaku, Digital Tanki Ryugaku, there's a link that I've put right there. You can check it out. And then if you can do it, sign up. I'll send you the schedule and then we will do it. Like I will be able to, だって編集ちょっと休憩して I will give you all of my attention and I will focus on making sure that you get better 3 times a week, right? So anything we talk about like on Monday, then we talk on Wednesday, we double check, we see if we're getting better or not, and then we talk on Friday. And if you have any like, oh, I don't have anybody to talk to, I'll give advice on how to talk to people. I'll tell you how to approach people because that's one of the craziest things. People are like, oh, you just say hello or something. Like, don't say hello. That's not how you go up and talk to people. Like it's a little more simpler, but it's definitely not hello. And I can talk about that too. だって出会い作るのが難しいじゃんって。いや、外国人に声かけるの難しいじゃんって。So I made a video in Kyoto where I talked to like all these foreigners and I just literally all day long talking to people all fucking day. It is so easy to walk up to somebody and have a conversation. I think that a lot of people just get it in their head that it's hard to talk to foreigners. Well, it's easy because I already speak English or whatever. Yeah, no. Then I made a video where I talk to Japanese people all day. So you just got to get out there and do it basically. No, I don't invest in stocks. I invest in myself because it's a long story, but I have an app and I'll tell you about it on another link. Yeah, so anyway, guys, my link right there for the meantime, digital tanki ryugaku したかったらね, this is my time that I'm giving you, and you get all of my attention when you do this. So like, and you get all of my 教材すべてのリスニング教材も、 なんていう、まとめてるかな。If you guys are serious, you can check it out. But in the meantime, peace out. I'm going to hop on the bicycle and go get my banh mi and maybe have dinner up on the balcony. I'm staying in a nice place with an ocean view, and it is very cool and relaxing. So I'm going to go enjoy my evening. But thank you guys for listening all the way up in here. Oh, もう10時になってるんじゃないですか、日本では。So guys, seriously, you can watch another video maybe, but honestly, think about it. Get out there and talk to people. Maybe you should search like, how do I meet people? How do I approach people? How do I talk to people? How do I make friends? Like, look up videos like that. All right. Take a break from the English videos. Take a break from the English lessons. I hope to be making more videos soon. Popular videos, of course, ones that actually teach. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go get dinner. So thank you guys for staying to the end. Ah, yakisoba tabetai. That's nice. Yeah, I don't. 和食ってあんまりないですね、ベトナムで。まあ、寿司って感じ。But anyway, I'm gonna go out, get some dinner. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy. Have a good one. Tomorrow's video is a little different. It's a little same, but it's a little different. So you'll see. But it's longer, basically. And I just want to see if a longer video, people actually watch the longer video. So anyway, guys, have a good one. And one more time. Oh, thank you, Stella. Have fun. I will have fun. Thanks. だって、riding my bike because I'm in a local neighborhood basically, and so it's just like the people know that I'm not from here. 明らかに. So it's interesting. So, but anyway, I'll have a good one. You guys have a good one. And デジタル短期留学はそちらですね. So guys, have a good one. Peace out. Good night. Sweet dreams. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.